Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. It is 71 days, 12 hours, 4 minutes, and 13 seconds until the election. Let's talk about the week. Let's go. Hey, everybody. How are you? First, before we get into this, we know how you do it. You know how to do it. Go down and click the subscribe button. Tell your friends. Come back and join me every Sunday. That's right, I've decided on a day. I'm going to make a new episode every Sunday. That way we can let all of the week, all of its happenings happen, and then we can discuss. First, let's talk about that DNC, huh? Wow. I didn't know what they were going to do and how they were going to do it with the virtual convention. It turns out it was pretty groundbreaking. I was very proud of everybody. They had a female moderator for every night of the week. But I got to tell you, Michelle Obama, I'm going to recap. Michelle Obama's speech, I am still riding high from, even after a week. I have a feeling her speech is going to be referenced a lot because of the time in this country. It's going to be referenced to who we used to be and who we can be still. So, I'm serious. I just flash back to the shade, the compassion. We know that's not going to come out of the RNC starting tomorrow. We know that's not coming out of there. Let's see. Tuesday they had AOC introducing, nominating or doing the delegates from Vermont for her guy, Bernie Sanders. There was a little bit of a controversy there, but not so much. She didn't need to mention Joe Biden because her mission was to introduce Bernie Sanders' platform into the convention, which Joe Biden has done. And actually, he's formulated a little bit of Elizabeth Warren's format into the platform as well. So, he's going to obviously have to lean hard center while the more progressives of the party still do what they do. Because, right now, we got to find some way to bring this country back together. It has been exposed for the racist petri dish it has been for years. And I don't want to live in a country like this. Everybody's angry. The pandemic has basically become second nature. No one is wearing masks. These Karen and Kyles are still acting bananas over masks. Everything's against my constitutional rights. First of all, if you're going to tout the Constitution, maybe you should go to Amazon and buy a copy. Or go to your local bookstore, or do whatever. Wear a mask and do whatever you need to do and buy a Constitution. They sell them pocket size. You'll be surprised all of this crap that you're spewing is not even in the Constitution. It's called entitlement. That's not in the Constitution. That's something that you were led to believe that you have over minorities, black and brown, in this country. And that is slowly, not fast enough for my taste, but slowly coming to an end. Let's see on my little notes here. Okay, some highlights of the week. I've highlighted little Braden Harrington. The little guy who stuttered, the 13-year-old. Didn't that not break your heart? I too had a stutter when I was a child. I was told that my brain was trying to say the word faster than my mouth could make it, and it conflicted with each other. I was in speech class, and you grow out of it. You do. You learn how to grow out of it, and if you're nervous, sometimes you revert back to it. Or if something traumatizing in your life during that period when you stuttered can also make you go back to it, from what I'm told. I thought the Currys Steph Curry, his wife Aisha, and their children. I thought that was cute. I thought that was really, really cute. Asking them what a good leader should be and what they should expect from a good leader. I thought that was really, really cute. And then, of course, uh, Kamala Harris's speech. I mean, you can't get no more American dream than that. You really can't. Jamaican father, Indian mother. You know, I know there's some controversy with Kamala, but I don't see it. I'm sorry. She was a prosecutor, a damn good one. And if you weren't committing crimes, you would have no reason to cross her path doing her job, putting criminals in jail. I said what I said. And then, of course, we pull up to the showstopper, Joe Biden. Now, we know he's a speaker. He's been in politics for 5 decades. But you know what? I did not expect that speech to be as emotional, as raw, as truth-telling as it was. And, you know, I'm glad with this virtual convention we were able to hear the words they were saying so they can put passion in sentences that we needed to hear passion in. You know? I mean, the cheers are missing. They were great, yeah. But still, we got the picture. Over and over again. Overall, the convention was amazing and groundbreaking. And whoever put all that together, I see Emmy nominations because that was amazing. They didn't know what they were doing. They were flying blind. Certainly, there were hiccups because it's the internet. What are you going to do? But all in all, amazing. Amazing. Let's see, what else we got? There was a big news week. A big week for news. Can we talk about Steve Bannon and the other cohorts of his? Now, one of them was a Iraq veteran. Now, he had the brainchild idea to start a GoFundMe page to help the U.S. government, i.e. Donald Trump, get funds to help build the wall. Now, yeah, I know. Mexico was supposed to pay for the wall. No, they never had any intention of paying for the wall. That was Trump being Trump. Reality show Trump. Anyway, we'll put that back here for a second. These 4 clowns, I believe the Iraq guy, let's give you a little backstory on him. He came back from Iraq. He discovered the GoFundMe game, and he was a 2-bit con artist. He used his military service to first raise money for $20,000 for something he needed. Then he raised $100,000 again in another GoFundMe to buy his wife a house. And I guess since he was successful, and right-wing and saying all the right-wing talking points, he was able to amass $25 million, bringing on board Steve Bannon, formerly the Breitbart guy and formerly of Wall Street. Steve Bannon is rich. Y'all should know that. And he's a white nationalist, i.e., He ran Breitbart. Yeah, I know y'all know what that is. Very right-wing. I like to say conspiracy theories because nothing they say in there is true. And if it is true, they put the right-wing skew on it the way they always do, like Fox News. Anyway, he enlisted Steve Bannon to help him, I guess because of notoriety and clout, for being in the White House and Donald Trump's campaign manager. They raised $25 million of poor, fearful people in the Republican Party that they've fear-mongered, saying Mexicans are going to come and rape your daughters and steal your jobs. They amassed $25 million to build a wall. Now ask yourself, how is private citizens starting a GoFundMe page to help the federal government build a wall at its border? It stunk from high heaven from the beginning. Because $25 million is a lot of money. You have to set up a legitimate charity to to account for that kind of thing. You have to say where that money's going. You have to say, basically, where it's coming from. Well, we know where it came from, but you know what I mean. So, the GoFundMe people decided, well, hold on, whoa. Money, we have to put this money someplace legitimate. So they created dummy accounts, they created shell companies, and they started stealing this money from this account. Now, it's obvious to see the corruption was abound. Let's see. The Iraq, I wish I could remember his name. I should be more prepared. But I think y'all know the story by now. He bought a boat. One of these four guys got plastic surgery. They bought Range Rovers. Steve Bannon, of course, said he $1 million was what his portion of the embezzlement was. And he says it was for personal travel expenses and expenses of that nature. Now, I don't know what $1 million in expenses could be. Maybe it was that new Range Rover. I say all of that to say this. Even the people over at Fox News knew this was a bad idea. And they said this was going to end in tragedy. And it has. Now, another check off of the list of criminal cohorts of Donald Trump. Now, of course, Bannon seems to think he's innocent. He seems to think that what he has done is legitimate. So I'd imagine now he's trying to doctor. Well, that's why he's in his trouble. He tried to doctor receipts and doctor paperwork, and it was all fraudulent. It was all to get this money out of the GoFundMe account so they can do whatever they needed to do. Because certainly none of it went to the wall. Because if that was the case, you donate all $25 million to the federal government for the wall purposes, which you still can't do because money for the border wall is allocated through Congress. And they weren't giving Trump any money for the wall. That's why he tried to steal it from the defense fund at the Pentagon, which he was not able to do. Now, this wall, it's a thorn in my fucking side. Barack Obama commissioned the existing wall to be repaired. Now, anything that is done down at that wall is the repairs that Barack Obama ordered that are getting done in the Trump years. And he hired some shoddy-ass person to do that, and a storm blew those walls down. There is no new wall down there. I keep repeating this. There's no new wall. It's just repairs of an existing wall. And I said what I said. What else? DeJoy. Now, they hauled the Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, in for a hearing. Now, I'm not, like I told you, I'm not a fan of these telehearings because you know what? They lie. You can't stop them when they lie. There's a time delay. They don't say yes or no when they need to, and you need to look them in the eye when they're lying to you. DeJoy got caught in several lies. He lied about meeting with the president. He lied about why he took these sorting machines out. He lied about the analysis that they performed when taking out the sorting machines of how it would impact people getting the regular mail. Lie, lie, lie. And then to put the cherry on the cake of the day, he says he's not putting those sorting machines back in there because they're not needed. Obviously, they're needed. People need the post office for their medicine, Social Security checks. These old people aren't tech savvy. They haven't set things up online. They still use the mail. There's packages sitting in containers that's got food in it. Things are perishing. It is a nightmare. And this dude is a businessman turned postmaster general who has a business that rivals the post office. Stinks to high heaven. Stinks to high heaven. And when he was questioned on things, he lied. He just they do what they do. I'm pretty sure he got the speech from Trump. This is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to do. Even if he didn't personally, it was coded. Period. I could go on and on about DeJoy, but you know what? In the next segment, yes, this is a bonus. Timmy is going to talk for 30 minutes today. In the next segment, we're going to pick up where we left off. Because It's just a lot of news. A lot of news. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to be talking for 30 minutes every Sunday. 15 minutes just isn't long enough. Okay, I've made the executive decision. In the next segment, we'll pick up where we have left off in the news because there's still a lot to tell you. Hey guys, so listen, we've been talking about DeJoy and the Postmaster General. I believe he should resign. I think they should call for his resignation for his sabotage of the Postal Service. Not only because it's an election year, because he just basically sabotaged it. People need their medicine. They're not getting it fast enough. And none of these people seem to have compassion for that. None of them. It's a shame. Just a shame. Anyway, I've said all that to say this. If you're fortunate enough to get your mail-in ballot in the mail, it probably won't make it back in time. Now, I know it's August. If you trust the mail, do it. But would you want to trust the mail with something as important as your vote in an election that's this important? Now, I know what I'm going to do. Now, I can't tell you what to do. Because, do your conscience. Do you. But if you're lucky enough to get your ballot, because most people, let's face it, most people they know they got to do it. They just haven't. They're sitting around on their thumbs. I just don't understand it. This election is important. It just really is. It's between sanity and crazy. Do you want an insane president for another 4 years, or do you want someone sane? That's just the bottom line of it. That's the bottom line of it. And why wouldn't you do everything that you need to do early to secure your vote? Now, if you're a Democrat, Republicans they're doing what they've always done for years to stop you from making your vote count, because there's not enough of them that think the way that they do to sustain the way that they think in government unless they cheat to keep them there. Now, what they've relied on Democrats not doing is having a shit together, being registered, having the proper ID, because you do need just a regular ID to even vote. You do. That's just a basic need, and everyone's got a driver's license if you're 18. Everyone's got one, I would think. It's bad enough that they're closing polling places just because of the redistricting and the gerrymandering. But that's the resilience of us. We know they try to cheat in that way. They've done it in every election that I can remember since I've been voting. They cheat because that's what they do. They've been allowed to do it because of the deck they've been allowed to stack in their favor, which also keeps racist policies in place. That's why your life isn't just as good as your white counterpart, because the system isn't built that way for you. Never has. But you can make that difference. But you don't, because you don't vote. You don't do anything. You don't vote in local elections. You don't vote in national elections. You just don't care. You want to sit back and complain and do nothing about it. Now you can. Now you can. Now, I don't know if it's because it's Donald Trump that made you realize that your life is shit. Maybe it was the pandemic that made you realize your life is shit. But what these two things have done for me is made me realize that we have a lot of shitty people in America. They've never cared about me, my skin color, or even if they did, it was at face value. They have a mouthpiece saying what they've been thinking for years. And you're wondering why the Republicans are so quiet? I've had this conversation with JC all the time. They're quiet. 2 reasons. Maybe they're part scared of his Twitter account, or maybe they agree with him. It could be one or the other, or it could be both. They've got a mouthpiece in Donald Trump. He's unfiltered. He will say what they've been thinking, and a reasonable politician wouldn't say because he wants to keep his job. But now they have a president that can say it, so they just hide behind that. But what they don't realize is the bigger picture, and maybe they do. When they're quiet, they're complicit. And the things that I'm saying that now you're probably going to start saying or thinking is, yeah, they've been quiet this whole time. Maybe they think like him. Come on. All of them can't be scared of Donald Trump's Twitter account. Maybe they co-sign him. Maybe they co-sign him. That's the theory I'm subscribing to, because what else kind of reason can it be? They're not saying anything. Everything that he does that's racist or just against presidential norms, when question is, ow, I've got to get to a meeting. I mean, I've never seen Republicans run so fast. They should be a track team. I've never seen them run from reporters so fast than I have in this past 4 years. Or they're contortionists. They'll twist themselves into pretzels to make whatever Trump said reasonable. Now, I'm not going to go into detail or any examples because we've all been there. And I'm not going to rehash anything more about Trump than I need to, other than this to say I need him out of the White House. We all do, for our sanities. For a minute when he got elected, I said, okay, this is going to be good TV. That thought lasted a half a second. Then I realized he was a monster. I physically went into mourning for this country the minute JC and I left the Hillary Clinton victory party over at the Javits Center. It was like we got shot in the face. And then the next morning, we was laying in the hospital mentally. I was in mourning. My whole body shut down. I don't want to go back to that. And I've been in a state of shock since 2016. And then, of course, the debasing of presidential norms and leading up to the impeachment, where all of it was moot because they didn't acquit anyway. To find out that there is a 100-page bipartisan, that means both sides agree that Russia helped him get elected. Now, if they knew that now, why didn't they know that then? What was the fear in acquitting Donald Trump? You still had Mike Pence. You still were going to get your agenda through. Mitch McConnell was still going to get his judges. All 200 of them, I might add. What was the fear in keeping Donald Trump president? If you knew he was guilty already, and then put out a 100-page report now, before the election. Now, is that shade from the Republicans saying, well, he was guilty, we just didn't think he was guilty enough for an acquittal? Removal. I don't know what the strategy is, but if both sides thought, including Republicans, I repeat, that he was guilty of Russian collusion, why didn't they remove him? We'll probably never know the answer to that. But what we will know the answer to is, on January 21st, because this election won't be decided. No, it's going to go all the way to January 21st. Unless it's an overwhelming landslide, which would make me so happy. I will backflip every day. And JC will get it on film. I used to be able to backflip. I digress. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Trump. Okay. January 21st. There's going to be a crime commission formed. In fact, I think they're getting the members together right now. They're forming a crime commission against every Trump crime and every violation of the presidential norm that he has conducted over his 4 years in being president. Which means every senator, every Trump administration person on his administration will have to answer to why they did what they did, when they did it, and why they did it. And then Congress will have to answer to why they did nothing to check this. And this is the result it had on the American people. And then heads are going to start rolling. Watch what I tell you. So it may seem bleak right now, but it's not going to always be bleak. And you have to factor in. A lot of people didn't participate in the presidential process in 2016. They just stayed home. Now, all of the numbers and all the polling that you see now is for people who are now actively getting involved in this presidential cycle. Last year, and certainly after James Comey's letter, they just stayed home. They just said, fuck it, I'm not doing anything. And then they held their nose, and then these certain ones voted for Trump. Let's just give him a try. Yeah, I know he's awful, but let's just see. He's a businessman after all. Let's just see. How's that working out? It isn't. And this science experiment can no longer go on. He's got to go. We're going to get back to normacy and people who are willing to do the job. Trump was willing to do the job since he got there, but we all know that. I mean, look how he's handled the pandemic. We're going to be at 200,000 people dead by the election. Lord knows how many starting into the new year, because this shit's going to go on all the way through to the end of 2021. It is. And sorry to say, y'all, if Biden-Harris gets into the White House, I'm throwing it out there. Oh, they'll get into the White House. This country's getting shut down again. Because this whack-a-mole that's happening with the states, they got numbers. These numbers are low. Y'all can go to school. Y'all need to stay home. Y'all can open up this. You need to close this. It's not working. America is huge. They are traveling from state to state. It's summer. They're going camping. They're getting on these planes. They're spreading this shit because we don't know who has it, because testing was a failure. Anyway, I could ramble on about that. Let's see what we talked about. I have some more time. Let's see. We got his taxes, y'all. The judge in the case said you can no longer stall. No, I'm not giving you a stay on the decision. Now, I understand there's one more process they can try and do. He's trying to appeal to the Supreme Court again, and that's going to get kicked back. The thing is, he knows he's going to have to turn him over, but Trump is good at stalling the system. That's been his game plan. And these judges know that these appeals are a stall tactic. They're tired of playing. He's got to turn him over. Now, we're not going to see him. Certainly not before the election. But who knows? If they leak, they leak. What else we got? Oh, I need to talk about Rose McGowan for a minute. Now, I know y'all know her. She's the girl from Charmed, and her and Alyssa Milano is in a feud. Alyssa Milano was on the show as well. Now, we all know Alyssa Milano hates Trump, and I did not know that Rose McGowan is a staunch Republican. Go figure. Who now is, I guess, joined the Trump train. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's a surprise speaker at the RNC. She is a advocate for the girl Tara Reid who accused Joe Biden of touching on the shoulders and inappropriate touching, blah, blah, blah. Now, we don't know if that happened or not, but apparently this Tara Reid person has been discredited many times. And if you noticed, she just went away. Her story didn't seem credible, or it was deemed not credible because she didn't file, it just went away. Now, Rose McGowan is in the news talking about DNC's fraud, liars, blah. Now, I don't know if she wants to be relevant or she, trying to get parts in Hollywood again. I don't know. She's a professional victim. Now, I don't discredit what happened to her. It was horrible. Harvey Weinstein, horrible, horrible, horrible. But she's a professional victim. What she's doing now for attention has nothing to do with what happened to her as a victim of sexual assault. Let's be clear about that. And I'm not discounting that, okay? She needs to shut up and go away. She's blamed not getting jobs because she cut her hair short. I can't. I thought I would mention it, though, because it's pop culture in its context. So I'm going to wrap this up. I hope I've talked enough for you. I like it. I feel comfortable. Sundays. Join me here. Timmy Talks. 30 minutes. Yeah. I've changed the title of the show. Yeah, I did. Um, Subscribe if you like. Tell your friends. Please follow me on all social media outlets. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I appreciate your support. And I am going to credit myself, and I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to promise to make great content for you. See you next time. Bye-bye.